Hey guys, Mr. Decker here. This is Code.org, Computer Science Discoveries, and we're looking at Unit 3, Lesson 12, the draw loop. We're starting to get really serious, and the code gets a little bit more complex every lesson, right? Every lesson we learn a little bit more, it gets a little bit more complex, but the draw loop, you're going to be using the draw loop in every lesson moving forward until you get all the way to the final project on lesson 28. All right, draw loop. Here's an example of the draw loop at work. We're going to be making a prediction. We're going to record our prediction in the box. Okay, let's see. So on line 4, let's look at this code. We've got a no stroke, a fill C green, and then down here we have a draw loop. So the no stroke, if you forget what that block does or you haven't used it yet, the no stroke takes the border off of a rectangle or ellipse or whatever shape you have. So it's going to show up as C green, this ellipse, and the ellipse can show up at any x value between 0 and 400 and any y value between 0 and 400. And what's going to happen with this draw loop is it is going to be drawing this ellipse on the screen, the C green circle on the screen over and over and over again constantly. So the program will draw a C green ellipse at random locations in the display area over and over again. All right, and then we run it and we get that draw loop effect. So what the draw loop is doing is it repeats the code inside of it at a rate of 30 times per second. So it reads down. We've only got one code or one line of code that it's reading. So it reads that, goes zoop, back up, reads it again, runs it, zoop, 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 zoop. And I can't even zoop fast enough at a rate of 30 times per second until eventually it's going to fill up the entire screen with that seafoam green color because there are so many ellipses. Now it just looks like we have a seafoam green background, except for this little spot right here. Oh, as I say that, that's nearly completely filled in. Let's see. Come on. Fill this. Yeah, we got it. All right, we'll finish. Very satisfying. We'll head over to Bubble 2 and keep trucking along here. All right, using the draw loop. Now it's your turn to do some work with the draw loop. Remember that the code inside the draw loop is run by GameLab over and over again at a rate of 30 times a second. Kind of like running frames per second in a video game or in a video. So we're going to add code to this program so that your drawing has orange circles being drawn too. So we're going to go into the drawing drawer, grab a fill color block. Whoop. I said we're going to grab a fill color block. There we go. We're going to make this orange. And then we're going to grab this ellipse. I'm going to take away the width and height parameters, that third and fourth parameter, by clicking the arrow at the end of it. So we just have the X and Y location. I'm going to go into the math drawer, random number, and each of those parameters, and 0 to 400, both of those for the minimum and maximum. And then we run it. And now we have these two competing colors for territory on the display area. Really cool. And it just draws it over and over and over again. As long as you're running the program, this will never stop. The draw loop will run forever. Now let's get this little part filled in. There we go. And we can move on with satisfaction. Let's head over to Bubble 3. And then let's see. Let's make a prediction here as well. So this program has one small difference that will make it run a little differently. But remembering that all the code outside the draw loop runs first one time. So all of this just happens once. And then all your code inside the draw loop runs over and over forever at a rate of 30 times per second. So what this world.framerate gets 5 block is going to do at the top of our program is that is actually going to slow the draw loop down to a rate of 5 frames per second. So the world.framerate, I can't type today, gets 5 block is going to slow the draw loop rate down to 5. The result will be the red, hang on, will be the ellipse being drawn slower on the screen. So we run that. And this time, because we're running a background block inside the draw loop, that is being drawn over and over again as well. And that gives the illusion that this ellipse is skipping around on the screen instead of you being able to see that ellipse taking over the screen like we saw on bubbles 1 and 2. So let's finish and continue. So it's like it's drawing layer after layer after layer. So it draws the red background, then the ellipse, then the red background, then the ellipse, then the red background, then the ellipse, over and over and over again. All right. Bubble 4, by changing sprite properties in the draw loop, you can animate your characters. Do this. Run the code to see how it works. So now we have this alien kind of spazzing out over here, wiggling around. Maybe he's afraid of the color orange. I don't know. And then let's see. Let's read the code, and then we'll try to change some numbers in the random number block and run the program again. So let's read the code. So we've got this sprite who's called green alien, and we're just calling the variable sprite because we don't have any more than just this one sprite in this program, so that's fine. He's being created at 100, 200, and then it's setting the animation to the green alien, which we see over here. And then the draw loop is drawing the background over and over and over again. And the sprite's rotation is updating from -10 to 10. So if I change that from like -50 to 50, he's going to be shaking even more. If you had this at like -1, 1, right, he's just barely noticeably shaking in his little alien feet or boots, or shaking in his alien helmet there. All right. So like -25 to 25, right? Now he's shaking a bunch. And let's take the background out. I just want to do that to illustrate how this is being drawn over and over again. So now this guy's going to turn into a blur because we're not drawing a background behind him over and over again. So you're actually now seeing every instance of that alien being drawn over and over and over again. All right, so let's jump a background back in here. If the background is white and that background is being drawn first, then it's rotating the alien and drawing the sprite. And then it zoops back up here, draws the background, draws the sprite, draws the background, draws the sprite, and does that over and over and over again. And that background layer is what is creating the illusion of the movement, instead of you being able to see every new drawing of the sprite. All right, so let's finish and continue to bubble 5. On bubble 5, this animation is already updating one sprite's X property to make it look like it's shaking. So we run it, and our pencil is shaking back and forth on X, it looks like. Do this, run the program, see how it works. We've done that. and then edit code in this program to make the second sprite shake like the first one. So inside the draw loop down here, we can see the pencil's X property is updating to 100, 110. So let's go into the sprites drawer and let's do the same thing for the brush. Let's update its X property. And we're going to update that with a random number block. And because the brush is over here at 300x, we're going to use 300 minimum and 310 maximum here to keep it separated in its spot and the pencil over in its spot. All right, let's finish and continue. We're on bubble 6. And I believe we've got a few practice bubbles here. We're going to update rotation. Let's go into A. So this level combines some of the skills you've already seen, and it's drawing ellipses in the background and also updating sprite properties. This time it's changing the sprite's rotation property. So this guy's working. Let's toggle this out of the way. We're going to add code to the program to make our pink alien rotate as well. So right now, the green alien's rotation is updating to a random number between -5 and 5 every time the draw loop is read by the computer at a rate of 30 times per second. So let's go grab the rotation block from the sprites drawer. And we have a comment block down here where it wants us to add that code. So we're going to change this to pink alien, Control C, Control V, and we're going to use the random number block from the math drawer, and we'll update that to -5 and 5. And they're both shaking, and our animation is working. All right, we'll move on then from here, and let's do 6B. All right, we're going to debug the blurry sprite. And it says that we have a debug report here. They expected it to shake around, but instead it's blurry shaking. Oh, yeah. Okay. So what is causing that to happen? Let's look at our code. Let's see. We don't want it to be blurry. We want it to shake and update the background. Background block is inside the draw loop, so that's not the problem. Blender's X is updating, and Blender Y is updating. Ah, right here. So you should never put your create sprite or set animation inside the draw loop. There we go. Now it's fixed. So again, we just lassoed this code and moved it out of the draw loop and up here to the top of our program. So it's only creating that sprite one time. If we have it inside the draw loop, it's creating that sprite over and over and over again and updating its location. So we're just going to put that up here so that it is only updating the location. All right, let's finish and continue. And let's knock out C here. Sprite not moving. In the debug report for this one, they expected it to shake around, but for some reason it's not moving at all. Okay. So let's see. Ooh, the background needs to be in the draw loop. Let's see if that fixes it. No, now we can't even see the sprite. Oh, the draw sprites block. Let's get that up here. Reset run. I wonder what happens if we put that before the update of X and Y. Okay, it still works the same. So I guess as long as it's drawing the sprite on top of the background, it'll show up. So make sure you're drawing your sprites after you draw your background on this. That works. Looking good there, Shaky Blender. I'm a little concerned about it though. We'd probably have to hold that blender still on the kitchen counter so it doesn't fall off and spill all the smoothie everywhere. Let's see. Bubble 7, we're on the assessment bubble. This level is very similar to the last. but this time you'll add in the draw loop yourself. So this time we're adding the draw loop block to the bottom of this program. So let's grab that draw loop, pop that in on the bottom, and then we're going to move any blocks that need to be inside the draw loop inside of it. So we need the background block in there and draw sprites. Let's run it. Okay. But we also want it to update its location on Y so that it's shaking up and down. So I'm going to update Y. So sprite.y. I'm going to put that on line 8. And it's going to be salt.y. We're going to use the random number block. And it's at 200. So I'm going to use maybe 190 to 210. And reset run. And now my salt shaker is shaking. Hey, salt shaker is shaking, boys. All right. Let's finish there and continue. And on bubble 8, I believe we're going to have some challenges to complete. Yes. All right. So we're going to recreate a scene, recreate the animated scene of the animals jumping on the couch. Okay, that's kind of fun. So we'll be updating on Y, so they're jumping up and down. Let's run it. Nothing's happening. Okay, we've slowed the frame rate down. And this one says, this level combines some of the skills you've been learning. You will need to create sprites and set their X and Y locations, set their animations, and set their scale to match the image to the right. You will also need to animate the appropriate sprite property to make the animals look like they're jumping up and down like the image to the right. All right, so first it says we need to create your sprite for the background. So I need that couch scene or living room scene. So animation. Oh, there's the background. Oh, so all the sprites are actually already loaded in. Well, that's helpful. So we're going to go to sprites. And we'll put that here where we have the comment block. So let's put, I'm going to call this living room. And that's going to be set at 200, 200. Control C, Control V, work smarter, not harder. And then we'll choose background. Let's run it. Oh, we need to have the draw sprites block in here. Run. That's there. Now let's get our other sprites on the screen. Wants us to put it below the number 2 comment block. Create your sprites for the cow, the elephant, and the pig. So we'll do the cow first. And I want to make some room so I can see this animation. So the cow's going to be on the right-hand side of the couch. So we're going to put it at 300x 225. So 300, 225. And then let's set the animation of the cow to the cow. All right, let's reset run. And we need to make him a lot smaller, huh? So we'll use sprite.scale, cow, get 0.4 maybe. All right, that works. And then let's get the elephant on here. Set the animation of the elephant to the elephant. And set his scale. Let's try 0.5 for him. And we need to move him over to 100 to 25. Okay. And then finally, we're going to get the pig on here. I'm just going to go ahead and drag out all the blocks I know that I'm going to need. So it's going to be pig, pig, pig. The pig's going to be right in the middle, so I'm not going to mess with X, but I'm going to update Y to 225 like I did with the other two. Reset run. Oh, I forgot to set the scale, and I forgot to set its animation. Everybody makes mistakes. All right, 0.4 for the pig. Run. All right. We'll make the pig a little smaller, 0.3, and lower him down. Let's increase Y to 240 maybe. There we go. Now he's on the couch. And let's set the animation for each sprite. So let's see. We'll go to the draw loop. Where is the draw loop? Where do you live, draw loop? Inside the world drawer. Okay. Let's get you out of the way. We need to make sure our sprites are being drawn over and over again. And we are going to use sprites.y 3 different times. And these will look similar, except we'll have cow, elephant, and pig. And then we'll go into the math drawer, and we're going to put the random number block in each of these. And the cow is at 225, so we'll update him from 225 to 240. The elephant's at 225 as well, so we'll do the same, 225 to 240. And the pig is at 240, so we'll do 240 to 255. And reset run. Now they're all hopping up and down, but let's give them even bigger ranges, actually. Let's do 250. We'll add 10 to each of these, 250 and 265. Reset run. There we go. And let's compare that. Ooh, they're jumping even higher than that. So actually, let's try 260, 260, and 275. Oh, I feel like I'm doing the wrong number because they're like jumping down instead of jumping up. So the minimum number, let's see. How can we get them to jump up like that? 225 for the lowest number. Oh. Okay, so 225 needs to be over here because Y decreases as you go up. So for the cow, let's make his maximum like 145. So for the cow, we'll change this to 145. For the elephant, we'll do the same. And this I'm going to change back to 225. And this back to 240. And I'm going to change this to 145. Now let's reset run. There we go. That's what we wanted. Now they're actually jumping up instead of squishing into the couch over and over again. There we go. So your code should look like this, where you've created your living room sprite on lines 5 and 6. We've created our cow and set its scale from lines 9 to 11. From lines 12 to 14, we've created our elephant, given its location, set its animation, and given its scale. And we've done the same thing for the pig on lines 15, 16, and 17. And then inside our draw loop, we had to really think about that, didn't we? We are updating the cow's Y location, its up and down location, to a random number between 145 and 225, the elephant 145 and 225, and the pig 145 to 240. There we go. And then we're drawing the sprites inside the draw loop as well. And you get that cool effect like they're having a good time jumping on the couch. All right, we'll finish that one. That one actually was challenging. I guess that's why they call them challenges, Mr. Decker. You're right, kids. You're right. All right, let's do B together. Animate the rainbow snake. So for this one, this level brings back the rainbow snake from an earlier bubble that we did, right? Getting that rainbow snake to work so that it updates slightly on Y every time you run the program. And then we're going to update the rainbow snake scene using the draw loop so that the snake is animated similar to the image to the right. And there we go. That's what we want to recreate. So we're going to create our sprite for the snake head. Let's find the snake head. There that is. It's already created for us. So let's do that. Create our sprite for the snake head. So sprites, create sprite, snake head with a capital H. And we're going to set the animation for the snake head to the head. All right. And draw sprites. We need to use draw sprites. Oh, it's wanting us. Okay, I see. I'm going to have to obey the rules here. Wants to set the animation there and then resize it here. So sprite.scale for the snake head. Oh, resizing here. And we haven't used draw sprites yet. I'm just going to pop that there for now so I can see. Oh, I didn't set the scale. 0.5. Let's reset run. Oh, it's being drawn behind the background. So let's get that done here. All right, we need to move it this way and make it smaller. So X will be like 75, Y 190. Where did we make it? 75, 90. And then let's make it like 0.3 and see what that looks like. All right, X is going to have to be even smaller. So 60. There we go. There's the snake head. And let's make it 0.2 on line 11 there in that scale block. Let's make it 0.25. There we go. Perfect. All right. And then I want to take a look at that example again. All right. So it looks like it needs to be even further over. So changing X to 50 on line 5. All right. Okay. So now we've resized the snake head and we're going to add a draw loop and put in the code to make it animated. So draw loop here, draw sprites inside, and then we're going to move all of this code inside the draw loop also. So lasso lines 14 through 32, Control C, backspace it, and then let's move our cursor inside the draw loop and Control V, reset run. There we go. But I need to update the sprites Y location. So let's go into the sprites drawer and we'll do sprite.y. And it is still this, Control Z. Still the snake head, Control C, Control V. And then we'll use a random number block to do 190 to 210, just like all of the other ellipses up there. And then there we go. We got a wiggly snake with a sprite head now. Sweet. Let's finish and continue. We're on challenge C, favorite animal. So on this one, favorite animal, use what you've learned so far to create a scene with your favorite animal doing your favorite activity. Don't have a favorite animal yet? Look through the library of animations and see if one catches your eye, or draw your own. And for example, you might like clownfish and you enjoy cooking, so you can create an animated scene of the fish cooking a dish with an animated salt and pepper shaker. Or you might like unicorns and you might like gymnastics, so you create an animal scene with the unicorn jumping around. All right, so we're going to add our animations over here. And just to illustrate, let's grab a background. And what do we want to make here? Let's use a soccer field, sure. And we'll just make a soccer ball bounce up and down. Let's find soccer. We'll use this one. All right, soccer field and soccer ball. And then let's get a soccer player on the field. So let's find people. Is there anyone that looks like a soccer player in here? Anyone wearing a uniform? Or anyone wearing shorts, rather. There's a basketball player. Come on, somebody wearing shorts. Come on, come on. And anybody, or we're all wearing pants? I guess you can wear like athletic pants and play soccer. Oh, there's a soccer player. Perfect. Literally holding a soccer ball. All right, let's go back to the code. Let's get our sprites created. So this is the field. And the field set animation to the soccer field. And we'll run that. Oh, we didn't draw the sprites, did we? All right. Oh, it wants us to create the sprites down here. I'm trying to pay attention to these comment blocks. Run it. There's the soccer field. All right, let's get more up here. We need our player. Reset run. There's the player. Let's make them a lot smaller. 0.4. All right. And then I want the soccer ball to bounce like it's bouncing off their head, actually. So I'm going to move him down the screen to like Y315 or Y300. See what that looks like. All right. And let's get this soccer ball bouncing off their head. So we're going to make a soccer ball appear now. So ball. We're going to start it right here at Y200. So that's perfect, actually. And then we're probably going to want to set the scale of that. Oh, whoops, I forgot to set the ball sprite. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, we got to make that way smaller. Okay, ball is going to be 0.2 maybe. Even smaller, 0.1. There we go. And let's move that down just a tad, 202. There we go. Now it's touching the soccer player's head. All right. And then inside the draw loop, and let's make a draw loop. We're going to draw our sprites over and over again. And we're going to update the rotation of the player to a random number between, let's see, rotation. We'll just do like -2, -2 to 2. We're also going to very slightly update the Y property of the player to a random number between, let's see, where is the player's Y? At 300, we'll do 295 to 305. Let's see what that looks like. All right. Let's slow this down. World frame rate. Slow it down at the top. Slow it down to 5. There we go. And then we're going to update the Y of the ball to a random number. Whoops, wrong drawer. Random number. And it starts at 202. So it's going to go up to 202 from, let's say, 65. Run it. There we go. Now we're bouncing that soccer ball off our head. Sort of. It also gets extra jumps, apparently. But you get it. So we've got this soccer player bouncing a soccer ball off his head. I love to play soccer myself. I coach soccer myself. That works. All right. And then favorite food puns. Create a scene with your favorite food, animated. I'm going to stop right there. I'm just going to do A, B, and C. If you want to move on and do D and E, you certainly can. But I am stopping with A, B, and C. Favorite food puns. Create a scene with your favorite food, animated, and telling a punny joke. I think you guys will enjoy doing that one and creating your own scene just using your wild imaginations. All right, we'll stop the video right there, and I'll see you back here on this channel for lesson 13. I hope you had as much fun as I did.